So without any further ado, our schedule, of course, today will be together on Wednesdays and on Fridays. Wednesdays will be in the evenings from 6 to 7. On Fridays will be 12 to 1. So for those of you all that will be working, it is fine if you um, come on virtually as opposed to being live in class. As a matter of fact, for the summer, now that I think about it out loud, we're pretty much doing everything virtual because there are about 10 to 12 of you all who have registered for the summer course. So of course, everything gets kicked off today. Welcome. Friday, we will be getting into Module 2, which is Industry and Company Research. You may be asking, what does that really mean? How does that fit? Well, you'll find in your career assessment, you'll be given a list of the top 5 plus areas of business that would be the best for you. Many of you may have an idea of what you think that is, and this assessment will affirm that. Others may feel like they aren't sure what they want to do, and this will help gravitate them towards a few areas. This is not necessarily gospel. If it turns out that your number 1 comes back and it's an absolute surprise to you, but you think that number 3 is the best fit, I'm completely open to working with you all and building your professional plan around that, which makes the best fit. But we'll make that decision, together after talking and consulting a bit. So, but by the time we finish on Friday, between that time and the time we meet again on Wednesday, August the 2nd, what will be happening is we'll take that career list in areas, and then we'll begin to start talking about geographies and the type of companies that you want to work for from a size perspective, from a growth perspective, from a geographic perspective, and literally develop a target list of who are the best companies and best options for you to work for. And we try to keep that list between 10 and 15. We'll then go in and start working on resume writing, as well as a LinkedIn profile creator. We'll start talking through networking on social media, leveraging LinkedIn, leveraging Facebook, other opportunities. We'll be launching, and those of you who are participating in this class should be the pilot students for Handshake, which is the grads or master's level eBear if you are a Morgan alum, or essentially the job board for the sessions. Or for opportunities. There are actually over 800 to 900 companies that are interested in recruiting you all as grade school students. So we'll be working through that together, very hands-on, and I'll say thank you ahead of time because we'll be working through the kinks together in that system for an absolute fall launch. If whomever it might be changing to hit the mute, because I think there's a little bit of a back feed. Okay. Nonetheless, we'll be going into interview prep, dress for success sessions, offer negotiations, workplace emotional intelligence, as well as selecting and sponsor, all throughout the 10 modules in this course. Successfully completing the course, be ahead and getting it out of the way for graduation. It is a requirement. It is also a requirement if any of you all are interested in grad assistant opportunities, if any of you all are interested in selecting student ambassadors, going to Philadelphia for the National Black MBA Conference in September, and for those of you all who plan on participating in the professional development series. So, Bobby Addison already mentioned earlier, her selection. You'll be hearing shortly from Chinito Okeke, who participated and completed the professional development series last semester. He had intent work with AECOM through the professional development series and was offered an opportunity within that. We'd like to think a lot of that was based on what he learned throughout the professional development series. So we have proven success throughout the series. Are there any questions on the schedule?
Yeah, I have a question. Like when we submit our, especially for the resume draft, how do we submit it to you? By email or?
It will be via email, and it'll be through an account called Grace Professional. We'll either be using Grace Professional or Grace Masters, but everyone will get an email after the session today, and it'll have the specific email. All you have to do is reply back into that email account with your responses to the assignment. So actually, there is an assignment due today. So Bobby, you mentioned that you were done with your assessment already. I know there are others who have written in that they have not had a chance to finish it or have had some issues with accessing it. Either way, as long as before our noon class on Friday, those assignments are the PDF is emailed in to that Graves professional address, then we'll at morgan.edu, then we will be fine, if that makes sense. We've had some issues with Blackboard and some of the newer students not having access yet. So we're trying to operate. We'll be facilitating the sessions through Blackboard Collaborate Ultra that we're all on now. But as far as uploading the assignments, it'll be a little bit different than what you all are used to, who are used to operating in Blackboard. As I mentioned, there's probably about 10 to 12 of us in the class, so it'll be more of a an email back and forth. We think that'll be manageable, at least for the summer. So long-winded answer, but hopefully that was clear, Bobby.
Mr. Fletcher, can you hear me?
Oh, I think I heard a question.
No, can you hear me? This is Bharat Padu.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Let's see. I can.
The feedback.
Oh, are you still hearing feedback?
Not anymore.
Perfect.
And you know the obvious reason why I was not able to do it. So could that be managed before Friday or no?
What I'd like for you to do, you should have received a email. You should be able to log in using the same email address that you applied to the program with.
Oh, really?
So we're kind of working around, those issues. So you should be able to log in there. If you did not get the instructions and everything to log in, let me know.
I did not, sir.
Okay. I will. Let's see.
And I'm trying it right now as we speak.
Yeah, if you could.
Yes, I am.
So if you use the same email that you applied to the program with, but then the same login information and password that's listed in the instructions that were sent out, you should be able to get through and start the career assessment.
It says you have reached an inactive career leader web page. You will be redirected to your home page in a few seconds, and that's it. It takes you back to the home page.
So it's saying that it's inactive, so it's not even allowing you to enter the address?
Yeah, I basically just hit careerleader.com.
But you went, okay, hold.
I'm just going off of the email that was sent July 19th.
Right. That's the message. Let's do this. I don't want to take away from the session, and time's valuable, and I know it's the evening, so I don't want to. But what we can do is, if you could screenshot what you're seeing and shoot it over to me via email, I'll do some research on that first thing in the morning, and at least make sure you get access as soon as possible, so you've got ample time to have it done by Friday at noon.
Sure, and like I said, I never received that email showing the new instructions. That's all.
So there wasn't anything that stated what the password would be in the career leader's email login. You said nonetheless, I'll make sure I resend it to you and reply once you send over the screenshot of what's taking place.
Yes, sir.
Will that work?
Yep. Positive.
Excellent. One other thing I'll make sure I point out, as I talked about, all of our sessions for the summer are going to be Wednesdays and Fridays. All of the Wednesday sessions are going to be evening sessions. The Friday sessions will be 12 to 1. So make sure, again, we intently pay attention to those schedules. I realize some of you will be working, and again, we've set it 12 to 1 around the lunch hour. So those Fridays, you'll be able to sort of brown bag it and, hopefully participate in the log-on session, whether it be there in your office or at, a private location close by. So if there are any issues or challenges with that, feel free to contact me offline. We can be somewhat flexible, and we record as many sessions as possible. But if you're not going to attend and you'd like to get access to any of the archive recordings, let's try to talk about that ahead of time, if that makes sense with everyone. Okay, so what I want to jump into now is purpose. And I think a lot of times people think, okay, well, I'm going to go and grab a degree, and job's just going to fall into my lap. Or people begin to think, okay, I'm going to go and grab this MBA, and because now I have this piece of paper, I'm going to go and make $300,000 a year, and life is just going to be wonderful. We all hope that is the exact case, but there's a little bit of strategy around it, and actually a lot of strategy around it. And the point is around purpose. If you are going into hedge fund management because you think it's going to make you a lot of money, or if you're going into consulting because you think it's going to make you a lot of money, odds are at a certain point in time, you're going to burn out quick from that, or you're not going to be extremely happy from that. The point of purpose, as you can see in the middle image here, is the vertex between your passion, your mission, your vocation, and your profession. And all of those are different things. When you start talking about, your profession, it's what you're good at. When you start talking about your passion, it's what you love. When you start talking about your mission, it's what the world needs. When you start talking about your vocation, it's what you're paid for. And those can, in certain scenarios and with certain people, all be very different, vast things. Well, the point of going through this professional development series is to find that sweet spot, that red spot in the middle where it's purpose. In essence, as it's described in the image in the upper left-hand corner here, a reason for being and the thing that gets you up in the morning. That's really your purpose. So what we like to think is most B schools will focus on, profession, vocation, very seldomly get into passion, if at all, and very much aren't digging into what is your personal mission. So those are the things we want you to pull out and think about. And those are the things that the career assessment will certainly help you do. And all of these modules and sessions are built on each other. So it is very important that we follow that and follow that series, because just like we're figuring out now what we want to do and sort of the mission and passion aspects, we want to make sure that as we're determining our target companies and going in and doing our industry research, that all of those things are in line. As we start doing our networking and resume writing, we're going to be writing resumes pretty much tailored to the type of opportunities that we want. We're going to highlight the skills that are needed for those opportunities. So we're pretty much customizing a lot of what we're doing, and it's all built on these modules that that some of you have gone through already in the assessment, that you'll continue to go through. But again, the main point here is understanding the overall purpose. So questions, thoughts, concerns, criticisms around that with anyone on the call?
I'm good.
Excellent. Chinedu, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can now.
Awesome.
As I mentioned earlier, to those of you on the call or here in the course, Chinedu is student here at the Grave School, an MBA student who has successfully completed the professional development series last semester. He will be someone that you guys are going to probably hear from quite a bit throughout the next few weeks. He's serving as the TA or teacher assistant here for our course this summer. But I thought this would be a great time considering Module 1, and as we begin to talk about from a 100,000-mile perspective purpose and how that fits into career assessment. Certainly wanted Chinedu to sort of share a little bit about his experience, what he was feeling at this point in time in the course last semester, how the career assessment tool worked for him, and ultimately what some of his successes and accomplishments were as a result of the course.
Of course. I guess first of all, I'd start off by saying that the career assessment was very helpful. It was really insightful in the sense that I was able to understand more about myself, more about my interests and my motivators, and how these concepts also combining with my skills, how they can effectively help me to understand more about what would be a better fit for me into career-wise. And so so personally, in the beginning, before I took the career assessment, I did have an idea of what I wanted to do, but I guess I would say I had less of an idea of what. Okay, so me personally, I'd always intended that to be a management consultant or to have a more of a manager type role as a career. However, I guess I was less privy to what sorts of skills and the kind of mentality that would allow someone to be effective in these kinds of positions and these kinds of roles. And so with the career assessment, I was able to understand. I was able to, as I said earlier, I was able to learn more about myself and how the different skills that I already possess and how my mentality is already shaped, how it actually would be of interest in this kind of career goal, because the career assessment did essentially inform me that my that the career path that's most suited to my my personality would be a management type role, but I didn't know. I didn't fully understand the kinds of skills or the kinds of the kind of background that would be better equipped, that better equip someone for this kind of management type roles. And so with the career assessment, I learned more about how my interests in managing people and coaching and mentorship, how they can effectively be reinforced as I move forward in this career path. Or for example, my key motivators outlined that I was interested in a kind of position that would be of high financial gain and centered around managing people. That's something I didn't really know about myself, and so understanding what my motivators my motivators were through taking the career assessment really did help me to really be more confident as I went ahead in seeking a more management type role as a career path. And that being said, when the opportunity to have a project-based learning experience with AECOM, AECOM is a civil engineering and consulting company. When that opportunity came, I looked through it and I saw that this kind of opportunity really did align with the results I got during the career assessment, and I was more confident about going forward with this project-based learning opportunity, and it was very rewarding. As I said, I was confident about it, and being confident about something really does help you to put your best foot forward. So as I said, it was a very rewarding experience, and I'm now more knowledgeable. I have more knowledge about what it is that I want to do moving forward. And yeah, I would definitely recommend the career assessment any day.
Excellent, and thank you, Chinedu. Any questions for Chinedu? for anyone on the call?
I'm good.
I think what Chinedu really got into was what we call the pie theory, and it's performance, image, and exposure. I think that there are a lot of people out there who who do great work, who aren't necessarily promoted or who don't necessarily get looked at for the big, highly visible projects and opportunities. And you really need to have all three of these aspects to work. You may be very good at what you do and you look the part, you make people comfortable around you, your reputation is strong. But if the right people don't know that you're there, that's where you miss out. Or maybe the right people know that you're there, but your performance isn't as strong, or you do great work, but you don't necessarily fit the culture or the image of that department or that company. You really have to have all three of these things, and be a strong outlier to perform, and to not only get into these opportunities, especially at the management level that Chinedu talked about, but to continue to rise and to be a leader that we are all working to build here at the Gray School of Business. So certainly wanted to sort of summarize and capsulize, Chinedu's story through demonstrating the pie theory. Um, Now, as we begin to talk about the actual assessment, Bobby, are you on? I know you were having a few technical issues. Okay. Well, we'll go through the actual results. This is sort of a mock of what the results will look like. Um, And Janeto actually verbatim referenced this particular slide or result and output from the series. These are the measures of motivators. So what's going to happen throughout this career assessment, for those of y'all who haven't already taken it, is you're going to be asked 20 questions about 5 different ways. So it's going to be roughly 100 questions. Some students have said, oh, it took me about an hour and a half. Some students have said, oh, it took me 2 hours. Some students said it took me 2.5. But I would certainly block some time away to go through and to get this done. There is no right or wrong answer. Essentially, you just want to be as honest as you can. And that's why these questions are asked so many different ways. It's almost a way to make it very difficult for you to trick the system. Meaning, if you come in anchored knowing that you want to be an accountant, it's very hard to simply think and answer, oh, the way that an accountant would. You almost have to be who you are. The example here, this person, again, number one score was financial gain, meaning that that person will be very motivated by opportunities with high bonuses, high income targets, so on and so forth. Intellectual challenge is something else that's also extremely important to that person. So not only do they want to do something where they're going to amass wealth, but they also want to be challenged in that process. So they may not want to do something like a mundane sales role where maybe they can make a lot of money, but you're going to be essentially doing the same things time and time and time again. Autonomy, meaning that they don't want to be micromanaged. They don't want someone that's going to come in and have a lot of command and control. And these are things to seriously think about when you're on interviews or when you're researching companies, to begin to think about how do they operate. There are some, you think about a startup where there's an awful lot of autonomy and individuals are coming in wearing 3 and 4 different hats, having marketing responsibilities, operations responsibilities, project management responsibilities, and there's a lot of autonomy. The opposite, maybe, almost think military or think a lot of government type roles where there's extreme processes and everything has to be done, A, B, C. And if they're not, then there are consequences, or again, your performance is put into question. So if you are finding yourself as you're reviewing your motivators, these are key things that you should be thinking about, especially the top 3 to 4, when you're asking questions to potential employers, or when you're thinking about where you may want to end up. What we'll find next week, I'll be asking questions about, do you want to be the turnaround person that comes in to problem scenarios and fix them? Well, something around, power and influence, or lifestyle, or intellectual challenge. If those things are high, that might lead you to want to take on some of those turnaround situations. Versus if you more want to have a scenario of, I'm in, it's 9 to 5, and I've got plenty of time for my friends and my family and my hobbies and other things. You'll really want to think through that. I mean, you could decide, I want to go into brand marketing, for example, based on the results of the career assessment, but doing brand marketing at Procter and Gamble, and doing brand marketing at a small family-owned business, and doing brand marketing at Under Armour are probably three very different things. So these motivation insights help you determine the right cultures and where you will be happiest and thus most successful. Any thoughts, questions around that? Okay. The other aspect that the career assessment gets into are skills. And in essence, if we were to look back at our circular chart, I mean, skills kind of fits into the what are you good at type concept. So, very high interpersonal effectiveness, power and influence. I mean, those things might jump out to me. Actually, this individual scored highest on analysis and strategic decision making. So that's someone who I would tend to think would want to be behind the desktop or behind the computer and analyzing the numbers and the situation. Interpersonal effectiveness, if that is higher on your scenario, I would think that you may want to be the person that might think about more of that sales type scenario. Or if you think about it, maybe even having your eyes set at a higher level. Any chief level individual will let you know one of the hardest skills is to figure out how to motivate and understand other people to get them to be most confident, most effective, most efficient when working for you. So I tend to think that interpersonal effectiveness at a high level will be important. I think there was I didn't quite catch the last note that came through. It was something about slide 7. Did someone need me to go back? Okay. Again, power and influence is another strong skill. Actually, that one is the highest for this particular example. And everything is laid out here as far as examples as to what all these things stand for as far as my skills. But what I think is very important, and why I want to spend time on this, is I want you all individually, when you're done with these assessments, to take the time to go through them, and I want to make sure that you understand them. Again, I totally expect several of you to have a few questions once you finish them if you haven't already. But I want you to understand what the tool is about, and again, how this helps you clearly understand your careers of focus and where your skills and motivations are.
Mr. Fletcher?
Yes.
I do have a question, because when I was looking at my career match, most of them I see they're like at the range 99 or 87, or the lows is like the highest, the very highest is 99, and the mid high is 84. How do I know which career should I select?
So what page number are you on?
I'm on. I just clicked on the link that said career match.
So in theory, your career matches should be in order. So your top career matches should be the ones at 99.
Okay.
And if you open up your PDF, it's usually page 11, 12, or 13 should have it listed, and they usually automatically list them in the PDF. in order. So you'd be able to see the 99s, and depending upon how many of those you had, those would be your top 1, 2, 3, maybe even 4. But some people may not be as high. Some people's top may be a 91 or a 93.
Okay.
But for example, what were 1 or 2 of your 99s?
One of them was like working with like the government agency, non-government. One was retail management. The other one was let me see, because I just clicked on career match, but I'm looking at the PDF now.
Okay.
Okay,
And make
retail
sure you
management,
save that,
nonprofit
because that's,
management,
oh, go ahead. Okay.
and general management and law.
Very interesting. Okay. So again, what I heard from that, and you'd have to take a look through and kind of make the ultimate decision. We'll talk in a few slides about some of the things I suggest that everybody do between now and Friday's session. And one of them is going to be, especially those 99s, let's say 95 and up, that actually look interesting to you, Bobby. Jump
Mhm.
onto YouTube and type in those titles, or Google those titles, and try to spend 5-10 minutes watching a few videos on people talking about those roles and what they're doing and where. And whichever one of those begin to really excite you, that's where I'd like for you to put your focus and your attention. Ultimately, I want you to narrow that list down to, ideally 1, 3 at the most, of where you see yourself going, with regards to, to your career. And as we narrow that list down, that's how we get to the 10 to 15 opportunities, and we start strategically trying to find individuals that are in your network, classmates network, alumni network, other networks that you belong to that are in those fields, to kind of help you understand when opportunities are coming up, help you understand, what are the big challenges and decisions of those organizations, to really help you peel the veil back on what are the cultures there, to help you spend the next 2 years really identifying what it is you want to do. Ideally, helping you spend the next year identifying what you really want to do, and then go and do a summer there. It might be the Veterans Administration. You talked about, government agencies. It might be the UNCF. They talked about nonprofit work. So at the end of the day, being able to assess what it is you really want, be able to articulate in an interview setting why you want to be at that organization, really helps you stand out in the pile. And I think that's where this course could help add a lot of value, helping you connect the dots of your background, what you want to do, to an employer, and help you show how you can add value. That's really what the key is all about. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Mr. Fletcher, if I can chime in
Yes.
real quick. So I've been messing around with this, and I think I'm able to get in, and I was able to save an update. So I should be able to do the career assessment now.
Wonderful. Excellent.
Thank you.
So give me 1 second. So now we've gone through. Oops. 1 second.
Bobby, could you please mute your microphone so that Mr. Fletcher's
Okay.
doesn't keep coming back? Thank you.
Excellent. So again, the main outcomes are the interest, the skills, and motivations of the series. So what we're looking at right now are the interest. So these again will help you craft where you want to be, what you want to be within certain fields. So if you are pretty high in managing people and teams, that's a great asset. So you can begin to talk about, I want to position myself for management opportunities. I want to understand how to really leverage my skill set in building teams. And someone may say, well, what makes you think that you're good at that. When you can talk through, well, as a requirement at my career school program, all the students have to go through a career leader assessment. Now, career leader assessments are known within the industry. I took one as I earned my MBA. Mr. Wells took one as he went through and earned his MBA. So when you talk about that you spent the time to go through these sessions, at the end of the day, it's showing a strong commitment that you're investing in you. And when you show that you're investing in yourself, then that makes a potential employer or a potential investor understand, okay, this person is a lot more serious. But all of these interests, whether we're talking about quantitative analysis, theory development and research, influencing others, application of technology, coaching and mentoring, enterprise control, managing people and teams, creative production, all of those will help drive and determine the right careers for you. Does that make sense? So as we begin to funnel into the concentrations, and as we begin to funnel into specializations, I'd like for everybody to begin to think about what works for them. Now, the only difference between a specialization and concentration is that our concentrations, which are here listed in marketing, accounting, finance, and international business, they're already approved through MHEC, so they can officially be segmented as concentrations. We're also working on human resources. We're working on supply chain. We are working on project management. We are working on data analysis as specializations. So you can take of your 12 required courses, 3 of them are electives. And if you take all 3 of your electives in finance or in accounting or in marketing or in international business, you can receive those concentrations. If you take all 3 in human resources, for example, then you will be eligible for specialization. The key would be highlighting these things throughout your resume, especially if you're a career changer. If you are an engineer by trade and you want to come in and prove and show accounting, finance, marketing fundamentals, and you want to come out of this as a hedge fund manager, or you want to come out of your program as a brand manager, you want to make sure that you're highlighting the marketing that you're studying, and ideally line yourself up for an opportunity over the summer if you're not working full time, or potentially at least putting a few hours into a project-based learning opportunity that could be used as one of your elective internship classes to create and build that type of experience. Any questions around concentrations and its relevance to career assessment?
So could you do more than one concentration area, Dr. Fletcher?
Technically, the answer to that question would be yes, but that would be requiring you to take an additional 3 classes. So it would be something we probably would want to discuss offline. My initial thought, without knowing exactly where you may be going with the line of questioning, I would tend to think focus on one core area and drive that as your concentration. But we do have students that want to do project management and human resources, and sometimes they opt to not do any concentration, but of their 3 classes, they may take one HR, one internship, and then, let's say one data analytics, for example, but their internship is in an HR department working on some type of data analysis. So in that case, you may not have to have a concentration. Right now, the market really is looking for people who have more specialization. 5 to 7 years ago, the market was looking for people who were more general and diverse, and you could bring them into your organization and they could run marketing one day, they could run operations the next day, they could run finance the day after that. So there really isn't an absolute need, but I think in the market right now, if you know what you want to do, you go and you get the concentration. If you're thinking about one or another, then I would definitely say let's kind of talk offline through that specifically in building your professional development strategy. But if it was something that you ultimately wanted to do, it's just a matter of how do we fit in 3 additional classes and fund 3 additional classes, through the program for you.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. The thought process came from speaking to a relative of mine who just started her executive MBA at Wharton.
Okay.
And they require 54 credits in a 2-year period,
Wow.
as opposed to the 36 we would be doing. And that's
how many credits per class are they? Are they 4 credits
one
per class?
each, is what I heard. And they do trimesters. They don't do semesters.
Okay.
And they do I think the difference comes from 9 times. They will be doing in Morgan's terms additional 9 more courses, and they have to do they have 9 core classes, and they got 9 core that you can change, and then you got 5 and 5 of total 10. So 19 times 3 is 54.
Yep.
That's how they're doing it, and she opted to do strategy and finance. So those are going to be your 5 in strategy, 5 in finance, and then the 9 core are the 9 core.
Got it.
So that's why I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe there's a dual option here, and that's why I brought it up.
No problem. Good question and great insight and sharing.
Thank you.
Okay. So I know that we're at about 6:50, and let's see, are there any winter or summer courses for these core concentrations? So yes, there are. We do offer a few courses during the winter session, which is essentially mid December through to late January. And there's also a few courses, summer 1 and summer 2. So that's late late May through early July. And then summer 2 is mid July through late August. And there are a handful of elective classes generally, and 1 or 2 core classes offered during those time frames.
And what's being offered? So looking at this slide right here, I see that what classes are offered in the fall and then the winter semester, sir.
So that is not planned out. What we're working on is laying out a full structured 2-year schedule. And what you're going to find when we come together for orientation on the 19th is we're going to work with you all as an incoming class, MBA students, MPA students, the online MS and project management, everyone, and lay out your full 2-year schedule of what you'd like to take, when you're going to take it, including electives. And we're going to proactively use that to go to the department chairs each semester and state, well, here are the classes that we would suggest that you offer based on what students want and what students are looking for. We have had issues where we've gone to them and said, well, students want more, I'll randomly choose an example, marketing classes. And they'll put 1 or 2 marketing classes out, and then inevitably we'll have less than 5 students sign up for it. And any class that less than 5 students sign up for ends up getting deleted. So what we're trying to do to solve those type of issues and to give students a little bit more flexibility is to lay everything out twice. So when you start the program at orientation, you'll be able to make these selections, and then it's your prerogative to change your mind or what have you. So there'll also be a time in the beginning of your 3rd semester where you'll be able to make any changes that you want to. But every semester we'll go in and we'll be able to hit a button, do an export, and let the faculty know these are the classes that students want.
Understood. Thank you, sir. those.
No problem. And what time does orientation? Orientation starts on the 19th. I want to say 9.
And are we required to be there the entire time of the orientation, or is it just like 3-hour windows? Or
For the 9 to 4, that part is required.
okay.
What we're trying to work with are a couple student groups to kind of plan some social activities afterwards. We haven't confirmed that yet. Those things won't be mandatory. If you want to go and do anything social with them afterwards, that's not required. But we want to get that kicked off, and we suggest that students do that, but there'll be no penalty or anything of that nature. And if there are some extreme circumstances, going on that day, proactively let us know, and we can be as flexible as possible. We do attempt to record, the orientation sessions, but we would certainly want to make sure that everyone coming in has a chance to lay out their schedule, understand the registration process, make sure that all that's taken care of, but mostly get to know your classmates. This is the first impression that they're making on you, you're making on them. And again, these are individuals that will become a key part of your network forever. So we want to make sure that not only the blocking and tackling and learning in the classroom happens in the program and in these 2 years, but the transformation also takes place with regards to rubbing shoulders, getting to know each other, collaborating, and learning from each other.
Understood. And when you say international management, is that like international business? Is that what that is?
It is international business, correct.
I see. And this slide basically says, these are the courses that you need to do, 4 of which are 3 electives and 1 core, and you end up getting a concentration. That's all this slide is about, basically. Okay, got
it. Exactly. And actually, this simply highlights the finance, the accounting, the marketing, and the international management. And again, there'll be another set of human resources courses. We've talked about sports management courses, and also the data analytics courses there, and then entrepreneurship as well. That is one that I'm missing. The entrepreneurship will be a specialization as well, and certainly for you all starting out, because you don't get into your elective classes until your 3rd semester.
Oh, I see. Okay, the first whole year is just the core courses.
You got it.
Perfect.
And I believe there was a question around, is the MBA curriculum online? Yes, it is. We actually have, yet you probably saw it in the introduction packet that was sent out to you. So there should have been a workflow laying out the 3 classes per semester in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. That was emailed to you with the congratulations message. I can also work on getting that link out to you if you want to shoot over a quick email to me, so you can actually see that full schedule laid out and the fall classes. But they are out on our MBA page currently.
Mr. Fletcher, as you know my situation, I have not received that package, and I am in the same situation as Bobby here, who's trying to find the MBA curriculum online, and I have not.
So let me see something.
And then I don't know if you saw the email come through, but Miss Mary Richardson basically sent all the documentation that she has, and I'm sorry about the vacuum noise. I'm still in the office.
You're okay. Not an issue. I'm trying to do. Give me a quick second. Oops, that's not it.
just so you know, we can see your computer.
Oh, you're seeing me go to MBA, right?
Yes, we are.
Edu?
Yeah, we are.
Yep, that's actually what I want.
Okay, good.
Because I want to find. I actually have a few of the grad assistants working over the summer on updating our website, and I'm trying to see exactly where. Oops, I have everything hosted. So, if you were to go to I think if you were to go into to the screen, let's see. Actually, Nanan, where did we place the? Yes, I'm bringing in reinforcements, everyone. As you can see, I'm not perfect. I know you all thought I was. Let's see. Because I thought it was. I thought we had as a link. Yep. Right under this. Ah, okay. So you wouldn't need to already be totally registered to see the schedule. And I'm going to take this link right here and send it over to both of you.
I got it. Thank you.
Oh, you got it?
Based on what I'm seeing on the screen, I was able to do it.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'll go back to where we were.
Yeah, there you go. So looking at this, so how do you, again, I guess deciphering this sheet is a little, like there needs to be a cheat sheet just for this. Oh, wow. Okay. Cut them out. What happened here? Or Stacey is anyways.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, but can't. Now, okay, you're back.
I'm back. Okay.
Okay.
Apologize. I'm not sure what that was about.
Well, it was 7, so maybe it cut you out.
Could have been. Let's see. And are you able to see the Morgan screen now?
Nope.
No.
Just it's showing all of our webcams. Like you can split
Okay.
the.
Let me do this.
Okay.
Okay.
I can see that.
So what this lays out would be the courses, which will be on the far right column. If we start working left, you'll see the rooms. If it's an online course, online is listed. All the classes will be here in the building. The days of the week will be listed. T is Tuesday, R is Thursday, the instructor name, the course number, the section, excuse me, our course description and CRN number are all listed. And unless it's identified in the far left column, each class is from 6 to 8:50 p.m. in the evening. If an E is listed next to the class, it's an elective. Otherwise, it's a core class. So that's a quick drill on, kind of how to read through the chart. And here's a full listing of classes offered for the fall. So incoming students are required their first semester to take the Accounting 600. So that would be one of the top two classes. Corporate finance. So if you came down to the one, two, if you count the one entrepreneurship offering, the fourth section, where corporate finance 620, there's a class taught by Dr. Keys and by Dr. Queen. If you're in the online program, you take the online class. If you are in the face-to-face program, you take the face-to-face class. We do allow a minimum number of classes that face-to-face students can take online if they choose to, if that's easier for them. But my strong recommendation is, especially with the quant-heavy classes, and if you're in the face-to-face program, take them face-to-face.
Say that one more time, Mr. Fletcher.
If you're in the face-to-face programs, I would take the quant-heavy classes face-to-face, though you can take a few classes online if you're in the face-to-face program.
Got it. So essentially you're saying it's 75529 for the finance.
For finance, yes, I am, exactly.
And then you would go for 75525.
Correct.
For accounting.
Yes. And if you look at the second section, BUAD, the other class that's required for the first semester is the organization, leadership, and ethics. So if you're in the face-to-face program, that is the 77376. You got it.
Okay. So, and you basically, these are the three you basically get to take.
Exactly.
Okay. And it's a Tuesday, Thursday, and a Monday. Okay.
Any questions there?
And the course description, I mean, the title is corporate finance, but where would I find what does corporate finance mean? What am I learning in that?
What was your question one more time?
Where would you get the course description? Like
the course description, let's see, we had that listed as well. Nanan, where did we place the course description? When we placed the guide, the full guide.
I'm not sure about the course description.
When we placed the full guide, there was a guide that I had sent over, that we had sent to grad school. So the course guideline would also have a description for each of the classes.
You mean the catalog?
Yes, the catalog.
Okay, we can put it up as soon as possible.
Okay. I thought we had done it. No problem.
All right.
I was able to find a cheat based on a conversation I had with somebody else, if somebody wants to know that, but I will wait for that to be posted.
Okay. Yep. And I mean, we've got it. We know how to find it. It's just, like I was saying, we're working on upgrading and integrating the whole website. So you kind of caught us in transition, but we'll be able to get that up as well.
Perfect.
Okay. So we're a few minutes after 7. Certainly still want to give everyone, if anyone had any other questions regarding orientation or getting ready for orientation, most importantly, any questions around our session today, preparing for the career assessment, or any questions around the results. Wanted to make sure we had a chance to chat through them. And again, if we need to spend a little bit of time on it, considering a number of us have had to wait until Friday to turn it in, we can spend a little bit of time on that during our hour together then as well. Was there anything else?
Great stuff.
Excellent. I do appreciate it. And if any other questions come up, you all know exactly how to find me. and look forward to a wonderful semester with you guys and going through professional development.
Thank you, Mr. Fletcher. I think Bobby just put up 4 messages. It says she never received the introduction package, just like me.
Really?
And yeah, Bobby, like right there in the chat window. I don't know if you can see it. She just typed it. A message came through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never received the introduction package at all either, and I never received it at all, so I don't know what it looks like.
Okay, I will make sure we'll actually resend it to everybody then.
Okay. And on August 19th, do we register for classes that day?
You can register before then if you'd like to. We will just be making sure that everybody has registered that day, and if not, we'll be helping them get registered that day. So
Okay.
you can wait if you want. There won't be any issue with classes being closed or full or anything like that. We know how many students are coming into the program. We know how many seats we have. So that part's not going to be an issue. But if you want to register before, you have that ability, especially when we send over the packet information and now you know with CRN and everything to register for to use.
Okay. Also, I sent you an email, Mr. Fletcher, about the if you can send me the curriculum link, so that way I can start registering for classes, so I can see what courses I have to take.
Yep, all of that will be in the link and information.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Real quick, Mr. Fletcher. So I did see the fall schedule up there, but nothing about what courses are being offered during the winter mini semester.
Right, as I was saying earlier, we will probably go semester by semester, so we'll probably start in early September to mid-September, laying out what the classes will be for winter and spring.
And typically core classes are offered during them, because I may not be able to
We
do all.
typically will have the Entrepreneurship 651 offered. We'll typically have BU80 647, which is the Sustainability International Business class, offered during the winters and summertime. Occasionally, we also will have the BU80 625.
That's slide number 10. Is there anywhere we can see it besides in this presentation? Because I don't know if you could, that showed all the core classes are, for the concentrations. That's a beautiful slide. It kind of gives you an idea.
Oh, okay. What we can do is we can actually get that slide and we'll post it on the website, and I can include it also when I send out the welcome packet again to everybody.
Yeah, because that kind of is like, oh, okay, well, these are the courses I'm looking forward to taking. I mean, this is what I need to hit, and then kind of like on our own we look at the package thing. But in summary, did you see that email from Miss Mary about the transcripts and everything else, and she was able to?
I did see an email come across. I know that she sent it to grad school, but I did not see a response back from grad school.
So I'm just making sure you have seen it, and then it's she was able to do what she could do.
Yep. At this point, we're just waiting for grad school.
Okay. So and the Blackboard is something that I have nothing to do with right now, and no credentials, nothing.
What will happen is once you actually register for class, then your Blackboard automatically becomes activated. But of course, we've got to work through those 1 or 2 things to get you registered for class.
All right. So we're still in a waiting mode, but great session, and thank you for patiently answering all these questions. And yeah, we look forward to the Friday session. And thank you.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Good night.
We'll chat on Friday, if not sooner. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.